Hello everyone. Today our team are going to talk about Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, and this is our group member. First, I'm going to talk about the author. Joseph Conrad was born on December 3rd in 1857. He was a Polish-British writer, regarded as one of the greatest novelists to write in English language. He did not speak English fluently until his 20s, but he came to be regarded as a master prosaicist who brought a non-English sensibility into English literature. In his works, Conrad drew on the national experiences of his native Poland and his own experiences in French and British merchant navies. With these experiences, he creates short stories and novels that reflect aspects of a European-dominated world, including imperialism and colonialism, and also explores the human psyche. His famous works are Heart of Darkness, Thief of Burger King, Lord Jim, and The Nigger of Narcissus. Next, I'm going to talk about the summary of Heart of Darkness. The story starts with a passenger, Charlie Marlowe, talking about his story on the boat. Marlowe is an introspective sailor. He sailed to the Congo River to meet Kurz, an idealist man of great abilities. His story begins in a place called Spectral City, somewhere in Europe. The company there, which is an unnamed organization running a colonial business in the Belgian Congo, appoint him as captain of a river steamer. He then sailed his way to Africa, but he then finds his journey are short. From the moment he arrives in the company station, he witnesses the violence it inflicts upon the African people. The African people were exploited, and he is exposed to the evil of imperialism. As Marlowe carries on to the central station, he finds his steamship has been sunk and still waiting for parts to repair it. Also, he starts to hear people talking about a man named Kurz, a colonial agent who is supposedly unmatched in his ability to procure ivory from the continent's interior. According to what people say, Kurz has fallen illness, making the delays in repairing the ship all the more costly. Eventually, Marlowe repairs his ship and brings the manager and a few agents set out to Kurz's place. On their journey, they faced many obstacles. They were surrounded by defense fog. The ship was also attacked by an unseen band of natives. Here it comes to the next part of the summary. After encountering many obstacles along the way, Marlowe's steamer finally makes it to Kurz. Kurz has taken command over the tribe of natives, who he now employs to conduct raids on the surrounding regions. The man is clearly ill, physically and psychologically. Marlowe has to threaten him to go along with them. So intent is Kurz on executing his immense plans. As the steamer turns back the way it came, Marlowe's crew fires upon a group of indigenous people previously under Kurt's sway, which includes a queen figure described by Conrad with much eroticism and as exoticism. Kurt dies on the journey back up the river, but not before revealing to Marlowe the terrifying glimpse of human evil he'd been exposed to. The horror, he tells Marlowe before dying. Marlowe almost dies as well, but he makes it back to the spectral city recuperate. He is disdainful of the petty tribulations of Western civilization that seem to occupy everyone around him. As he heals, he is visited by various characters from Kurt's former life, the life he led before finding the dark interior of himself in Africa. A year after he returned to Europe, Marlowe pays Kurt's partner a visit. She is represented as several of Heart of Darkness' female characters are, as naively sheltered from the awfulness of the world, a state that Marlowe hopes to preserve. When she asks about Kurt's final words, Marlowe lies. Your name, he tells her. Marlowe's story ends here. Heart of Darkness itself ends as a narrator. One of Marlowe's audience sees a mass of brooding clouds gathering on the horizon. What seems to him to be heart of an immense darkness. The next part is the analysis of Heart of Darkness. Heart of Darkness explores the issues surrounding imperialism in complicated ways. As Marlowe travels from the outer station to the central station, and finally up to the river to the inner station, he encounters sense of torture, cruelty, and near slavery. At the very last, the accidental scenery of the book offers a harsh picture of colonial enterprise. The impetus behind Marlowe's adventures, too, has to do with the hypocrisy inherent in the rhetoric used of justify imperialism. The men who work for the company describe what they do as trade, and their treatment of native Africans is part of the benevolent project of civilization. Kurtz, on the other hand, is open about the fact that he does not trade, but rather takes ivory by force. And he describes his own treatment of the natives with the words suppression and extermination. He does not hide the fact that he rules through violence and intimidation. He preserves honesty leads to his downfall, as his success threatens to expose the evil practice behind European activity in Africa. However, for Marlowe as much as for Kurtz or for the company, Africans in this book are mostly objects. Marlowe refers to his helmsman as a piece of machinery. And Kurt's African mistress is at best a piece of statuary. It can be argued that Heart of Darkness participates in the oppression of non-whites that is much more sinister and much harder to remedy than the open abuses of Kurt's of the company's men. Africans because for Marlowe a mere backdrop, a human screen against which he can play out his philosophical and existential struggles. Their existence and their exoticism enable his self-contemplation. This kind of dehumanization is harder to identify than colonial violence or open racism. While Heart of Darkness offers a power condemnation of the hypocritical operations of imperialism, it also presents a set of issues surrounding the race that is ultimately troubling. Madness is closely linked to imperialism in this book. Africa is responsible for a mental disintegration as well as physical illness. Madness has two primary functions. First, it serves as an ironic device to engage the reader's sympathies. Kurt, Marlowe is told from the beginning, is mad. However, as Marlowe and the reader begin to form a more complete picture of Kurt, it becomes apparent that his madness is only relative, that in the context of the company, insanity is difficult to define. Thus, both Marlowe and the reader begins to sympathize with Kurt and view the company with suspicion. Madness also functions to establish the necessity of social functions. Although social mores and explanatory justifications are shown throughout Heart of Darkness to be utterly false and even leading to evil, they are nevertheless necessary for both group harmony and individual security. Madness in Heart of Darkness is the result of being removed from one's social context, allowed to be the sole arbiter of one's own actions. Madness is thus linked not only to absolute power and a kind of moral genius, but to man's fundamental fallibility. Kurt has no authority to whom he answers but himself, and this is more than any one man can bear. And this is all of our presentation. Thank you.